What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Mario B coming at y'all with our BBR-D League draft analysis. I'm very excited, and if y'all are excited as well, make sure to show your support by leaving a like down below. And if y'all are brand new, as always, definitely consider subscribing. It should be a really fun one. This is an upload league required, so videos coming out every Saturday. I'm really excited to be back in an upload required league. It's mandatory to like upload your videos, and hopefully, I really hope I have enough time to possibly do even some watch throughs, which would be really exciting. But yeah, let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about the league. So if y'all know, we did participate in the BBR scramble this past summer. We did pretty good in it. I did stop uploading it, but we actually were knocked out in top 8 by who was another player that was actually in this league. So yeah, we ended up losing in top 8, and then my UBPW draft league, which was a draft league that I was playing alongside the BBR scramble, we managed to make it to the semifinals and were knocked out. So those were two good leagues to kind of get back into it after taking like almost a year off of Pokemon. So I'm really excited to be back in this league, and hopefully we can possibly bring back a chip for the new team, which I know y'all saw on the thumbnail blacked out, but here it is. Check it out, the Montebello Mexica. So I really love this logo. It was done by Trainer Mosby. I'll go ahead and link their Twitter down below. Love their work. I really wanted it to have like some type of like indigenous background to it. So like Rayquaza reminds me of like the feathered serpent, which was like a deity that like the Aztecs, the Mayans, like all of Mesoamerica used to pray to. And then we see Ogerpon on my shoulder holding the mask of the Tlaloc, which was like the rain god. So yeah, it's just honestly, I love the logo. And then we revamped our PFP, so you see me right there with a little grin, you know what I'm saying? Got that suit, that jacket on, looking all fresh. But yeah, man, big shout out to Trainer Mosby. I love the new logo, and this is what we're gonna be working with moving forward. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the draft league. So this was a draft league with 18 folks in it. We did manage to get the 4th round pick, and it's actually an open Terra league. So keeping that in mind, I really didn't know what I wanted to pick. I've been having a lot of fun with Urshifu. The BBR scramble, I managed to draft it with Goldango, and I really liked its pairing because Urshifu was able to U-turn out on like a potential fairy type, bringing Goldango, and Goldango just exerted so much pressure. So that's kind of like a core I wanted to keep moving forward into this league. And some of the first picks that went by were like Tornadus, Zarude, Raging Bolt, and then it was me. And I really didn't know what I wanted to pick. Terapagos was on the board, Iron Valiant was on the board, Great Tusk was on the board, Ogerpon, the Teal Mask was on the board, Wellspring was on the board, but I had to reuse Wellspring, so I was kind of like, do I want to use it, as a Terramon? Maybe I want to do something different. But what I ended up deciding to go with is, drumroll please, my boy Urshifu. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with Urshifu, rocking out with them in the BBR scramble along with the UBPWL draft league that we were in. Just a really great mon that, like, yeah, it's typically barred into a couple of sets like Black Glasses, Choice Band, Scarf, but I really want to try to utilize a lot of Swords Dance sets this season. I want to see if I can find those opportunities to kind of fit that setup in there, and hopefully I can. But like I was saying, in the Scramble League, I really like this synergy with Goldango. Unfortunately, Goldango got picked. That was actually the mon that I was going to go with, and I was actually going to Terra because this league actually has open Terra. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but Goldango actually went second like a couple picks before me, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to find it here. Yeah, it actually went first round, and it went to pick like, what is that, maybe like 15, 16. So I was unfortunately sniped out of it, so I wasn't able to pick it up. But I think I picked up the next best thing, really, because I picked up a really strong steel type in Potbelly, aka the Excadrill, baby. Last time we had Excadrill, we won the ICP. We're hoping to match that energy again, especially in a format that has 18 people in it. Not everyone's gonna have the tools equipped to really deal with sand. So this thing is great, especially with like Clear Amulet being an item now. That was such an item that Intimidate was such a really good way to like stop Excadrill, right? So like Landorus, even like Incineroar to an extent with a Shuckleberry, you know, even what other Intimidate mons, like Salamence, right? Salamence was another great mon that's good at checking this thing to an extent, right? So yeah, this mon is just really great, and this is actually my Terra captain, you know. So I actually have Terra Excadrill. Spoilers, because I was gonna wait till the end of the draft analysis to tell y'all, but yeah, I actually have Terra Excadrill, which is going to be super good. You know, in the past when I ran Excadrill, I always found that it was like SD, dual stabs, or even just Earthquake, and then coverage move, and then another coverage move. So now Excadrill can literally run Swords Dance, Earthquake, Iron Head, and then some type of like, you know, coverage move with the Terra. So that's really cool. I also like the fact that I can have like really strong like ground mold breaker Earthquakes, which nothing can really switch into, right? Especially if I rock like a choice scarf or something, or choice band. So just really strong here. And like I said, I think Urshifu baits in the fairy types to bring this in, and it essentially either gives me a free setup in SD, or it will give me a like free attack on something, right? Especially if things are so low. So yeah, so Excadrill, really great mon here. I really wanted to get Salamence in this next slot, but unfortunately it was sniped along with Goldango, man. Goldango, Salamence, and Urshifu sounds so crazy, but Salamence was sniped for me, and the person actually picked it second in their draft, and they actually used it as their Terramon, which I think is going to be great. I think that's going to be like one of the best Terramons in the league. But yeah, we ended up getting a different flying type mon, which is going to be Zapdos, which, as y'all all know, like Zapdos is such a staple on sand teams, right? Like it's so good at deterring like U-turns from you know, from the Excadrill. Sorry, it's so good at deterring U-turn in general, right, from pivoting. But this thing is also really good at clearing those water types that Excadrill doesn't want to see, those grass types that Excadrill doesn't want to see. So Zapdos is just a really great way to break down what Excadrill doesn't want to see. So, you know, in my 3 picks in Urshifu, Excadrill, and Zapdos, I feel like have amazing synergy. Just really nice. They do lose access to defog this generation, but it does have really strong Hurricane. It has Weather Ball. It has, you know, Heat Wave. It has really good coverage, and Flying Stab is super hard to switch into. One of the few electric types that get U-turn and Volt Switch, right? So just a great mon overall, and pairing with Excadrill and Urshifu, like I said, is just going to be really great. Gets rid of the fighting types too that might want to switch into Urshifu. So next I decided I wanted to get a fairy type, right? Because the dragon types could be a little bit of an issue, right? Since we're covering fairy with Excadrill, we really want to cover those fairy types. And I think I actually wanted, shout out to the homie JV, just because this is his mon, but here we got thick bubblegum right here. Sexy Mama Clefable. Great mon, just super versatile, right? Can run like, you know, just a hazard stacking one, can run like a magic guard life orb mon. So Clefable just really added a really nice element to the team to deter like dragon type moves, as well as like give me another rocker and besides Excadrill, and just some type of like setup mon too, right? Like Cosmic Power, Moonlight, Store Power sets are more than viable on this mon too. So Clefable is just an absolute menace, and I can't wait to use it. The last time we had Clefable, I think was like in Gen 7, so I'm really excited to see how they're going to do this one. Unaware is also a great ability. Next in this slot, I really wanted to draft the Latias, because Latias was still on the board, but the homie who ended up sniping me, unfortunately, man. So I had to grab the next best thing, and yes, this is the best next thing, Azelf. Azelf is a sleeper mon. Sleeper mon. Some people think this thing does not do damage, but this thing is going to fuck up your guts. Like, this is no lie. Just wait till the season starts. Mystic Power is nothing to be played around with. Nasty Plot is nothing to be played around with. U-turn is great, right? You can U-turn out on those dark types, bring in Urshifu. U-turn out on the psychic types, bring in Urshifu. So this thing just gives a lot of momentum into my dark type and Urshifu. If y'all remember in ICP, I did have this and Incineroar, which paired up so well, because a lot of the times I was just you know, U-turning out on a dark type, bringing in my Incineroar and getting a knockoff, or getting getting some type of like momentum, right, parting shot or something like that. So just having a psychic type is super nice, especially Lottie with levitate as well, which gives me another ground immunity for Excadrill if I ever need to, like, you know, if there's a ground move threatening it, if I'm not terra'd, you know, I can always kind of switch out and then go ahead and get this levitate on like an aggressive switch, right? So yeah, just really fun mon. I can't wait to use it. Aza was actually one of the mons I'm most excited to prep with. So at this point of the draft, right, I was thinking a couple things. Grounded poison was something that I definitely needed. The grounded poison was my biggest threat, and then not having a dragon type was also like a big thing for me. So what I decided to do was I decided to pick up Dragalge. Now Dragalge is a mon I have not ever played with, and it's always something that's kind of caught my eye because in Gen 7 I played with like Primarina, and that mon was like really slow, and I always like kind of like didn't like it because it was slow, but the power that it was able to output was super powerful. So, you know, I really was like, okay, well, I like Primarina now. Like, it was one of my favorite Gen 7 mons. So let's see how Dragalge does. Okay, it's a little bit slower. It gets access to T-Spikes. It's a grounded poison for me. It lets off fat-ass Dracos. And it's actually one of those mons, you know how some people have poison types and you're like, they're not going to bring their poison type, so I'm going to bring T-Spikes. Dragalge is one of those mons that you can bring almost every week because it's just so bulky. Like, you can run the Rocky Helmet sets. It gets access to Flip Turn now, which is great. You know, Draco on a potential, and nothing can really switch in, right? Like, if we bring in your fairy type, okay, oh well, I'll go for Sludge Wave next move, or maybe I will go for Sludge Wave, right? So it has to be a really thick steel type, and if I Flip Turn out on this, guess what? I get to bring in Urshifu or Excadrill, do some damage, and yeah, just really great overall. Next, I realized that, like, maybe, you know, switching into some special attacking water types might want to kind of be a little difficult for me, so I also wanted to see if I could potentially lean into a grass type, right? Yeah, especially since I wanted to kind of get my fire water grass core going, right? Because I didn't really have that. I had a dragon steel fairy core already. I kind of wanted to wrap up with that water fire water grass core, so I ended up starting it with Poltergeist here. I'm really excited to use this one. I see this been going crazy all gen. I understand that, like, a lot of the times it goes crazy, it does get access to Terra, but I think even despite Terra, I think it could still do really good. It gets, you know, that move that potentially burns, like Giga Drain. It gets access to Strength Sap. I feel like this one can be really annoying and just sit on mons and not really worry about that fire weakness either, because it does get access to Heat Proof, which will cut that attack in half, and then I can just, you know, Strength Sap it down. So I think this mon's really good, really versatile. I think it's not underexplored. I think it's underexplored without Terra yet, so I guess we'll see how it does. Yeah, and then continuing with that core, right, I wanted another switch into fairies, because I was kind of realizing, like, you know, Dragalge's neutral to fairies. Clefable's not going to always want to check the fairy because it's going to have to check dragon type, right? So I decided to go with Magmotor, my boy Magmotor. That boy really looked like me IRL though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's an interesting body type right there. But yeah, Magmotor, just a thick mon, really specially defensive, which I love. You know, I think it adds some really good synergy to the team to also break down grass types that, you know, potentially the Zapdos might not want to deal with that week. I think it also is just really nice in terms of, like, being a nice pivot into different things, whether it's heavy duty boots, whether it's assault vest. I think this one can definitely put in some work for the team. Next, we picked up Porygon, which is a CB Marcus special. Porygon is just super thick. Like, people sleep on it. I think this thing with Bolt Beam coverage is just really nice. And you know, I only really had 1 point left, so this was the best thing in the 1 point slot. So I was like, you know what, let me get this. It's a normal type, so it provides me with a ghost immunity that's not only Urshifu, which I like. And yeah, like I said, for a one pointer, this thing is really just value. And then the last pick, obviously, if it wasn't obvious yet, it was Big Daddy T-Tar, man. I can't wait to use T-Tar, man. T-Tar got knock off this generation. I'm really not trying to bar it into only a sand setter position with, like, smooth rock every week. I really want to use this nice. Last time we ran ICP, we ended up using Gigalith because, you know, points wise it made more sense. But I think this generation with power, Tyranitar is absolutely gonna smash, and I just cannot wait for it to put in the work that it's gonna put in. Great mon overall, and I'm really excited to use it. And yeah, that's gonna wrap up our draft analysis for the BBR-D League. This is the squad right here. Let me know what place you think we're gonna finish in. There are 18 people. You know, like I said, videos go up on Saturdays. Make sure to hit that bell, you know, hit that like, hit that subscribe. You know, content is back over here on the Mario B33 channel, and I'm so hyped, man. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. If y'all did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below. If y'all are brand new, as always, definitely consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.